stay active. The worst thing that you can do is not do any activity and just be a couch potato. Time is the most precious thing that we have. I hit the ground, broke my elbow, partially tore the tendon that connects to my tricep, bruised a few ribs, and just like that, everything stopped. Absolutely no more swimming. I still can't even straighten this arm all the way. And it took me about 2 weeks to get to the point where I can lay on my back without any pain. You see, swimming isn't just a form of exercise or an activity for me. It's my passion, it's my career, it's my job, and now I can't do any of that. If you've ever had an injury, you know how difficult it can be to be taken out of your element, to be prevented from doing the thing that you love or that you need to do. I was hoping to go to the Masters World Championships in Singapore, but that's likely not gonna happen. But this isn't a story about feeling sorry for myself. It's about a story of what comes next. But first, let me tell you the story of how it happened and how you can overcome challenges just like this. So a few weeks ago, I went for a beautiful bike ride, sunny Dubai, cruising down the bike lane in downtown. I just passed the Burj Khalifa, and I'm finishing a 32-kilometer ride when all of a sudden, the front wheel completely slips from the front of the bike. I fly on the ground, I crash on my ribs, my arm gets twisted like this, and when I came to my senses, I stood up. There were 3 people there to help me get off the ground. I was in a lot of pain, and I knew it was bad because my Apple Watch fall detection was triggered. It was giving me the vibrations on my hand, and sure enough, I tried to be a man and just walk it off. A few minutes later, I realized this was probably worse than I thought because I could not move my arm at all. This arm was completely stiff, and I figured I probably broke my elbow. So later that day, I got an ultrasound, an x-ray, and eventually got an MRI to confirm that I did break the elbow. I had torn the tricep tendon, and I wouldn't be able to move this arm for at least a month or 2 months. This was not ideal, especially considering that I've been rehabbing this same arm shoulder for the last few months, and I was just getting back into the routine of swimming, and then all of a sudden, I break my elbow, and now I can't use my arm at all. Now luckily, I don't need any surgery, and so it will heal on its own. It's just going to take time. And that's how life works. Some things you plan for, and others you don't. I'm still adapting to this new reality, and like anything in life, it's not about how to prevent setbacks, it's about what you can do to overcome the challenges that we face. And now before I share these 7 tips that you can use to overcome challenges and spending time out of the water, I want to thank each and every one of you for how you've responded on social media. I've gotten literally hundreds of messages and comments, words of encouragement, and also sharing your story of the challenges that you guys are facing. And that's really why I'm making this video. The first thing you need to do is stay active. The worst thing that you can do is not do any activity and just be a couch potato. If you have a setback, if you can't swim, or maybe you can swim, but you don't really feel like it, do what you can. Obviously work with your doctor or physical therapist to make sure that you know what your body can and cannot do, and stay active. For myself, I'm trying my best to lift weights in the way that I can. Doing core exercises, using this half of my body, doing squats, leg exercises. What I've been doing a lot of recently is a lot of walking. Now, instead of thinking, well, I can't go swimming, now think, yes, now I can go for a 1-hour walk, listening to a podcast, listening to music, and really just enjoying the beautiful environment that I'm in. This is really important to make sure that you're not delaying what it takes to get back into the swing of things. Number 2, you want to make sure you're strategic with your nutrition. If you're not exercising the way that you're used to, you might still feel hungry and eat the way that you're used to eating. But if you're not as active, if you're not burning as many calories, you want to make sure you're recalibrating. That's why it's really important to make sure you're eating enough protein, as well as keeping your body hydrated. You want to make sure you're not snacking unnecessarily. This is something that's really easy because you find yourself in a new reality, a new routine, and you don't want to develop bad habits. Instead, really focus on making sure you're getting the fuel that your body needs, but not overeating if you're not burning the calories required to do so. Number 3 is to make sure you're using your time wisely. Because you're not swimming, maybe you find you have more time in the day. Don't waste it. Time is the most precious thing that we have. So whether it's learning a new skill, getting back up on your studies, or for myself, writing another book. I'm so excited to share it with you guys. I can't wait for you to see it. And now I have no excuses. I'm not spending as much time going to the gym or working out, so now I can really double down on something that's always been on my bucket list to complete. So whether it's learning a new language, learning a new skill, traveling somewhere, do what you can to maximize your time because you will have more time if you're not able to work out. Maybe you don't have more free time, but you can allocate that time to recovery and making sure you can get back into the swing of things as quickly as possible. Number 4 is to focus on your recovery as much, if not more, than your training. So depending on what your injury is, if you have an injury, make sure you prioritize this element of recovery. That means getting enough sleep. That means following the protocols that you need to do so you can get back to be stronger than ever. It's really tempting to get lazy at this phase because you feel somewhat helpless. Instead, reframe, reprioritize, and make sure your recovery is on point. Because the faster you can recover, the more sleep you can get, the more quickly you can get back into the routine that you truly desire. So make sure you prioritize your recovery. The best athletes know how to take care of their body both in and out of the water, and recovery can be so much more important than the actual training session. So whether it's through a massage, hot tub, or cold tub, find what works for you and stay consistent. Take Michael Phelps, for example. He used a cold tub to speed up recovery, and that's why he created the Chili Goat with Master Spas. Their motto is go cold and live bold, because let's face it, if you want to maximize your full potential, you have to go sub-zero and allow your body to recover. These cold tubs have a soft tread, non-slip material on specific areas of the tub to make it safer, easier, and more enjoyable to use. It has the perfect armrest to make it easier to get in and out with a spacious wide seat and leg area fit for a king. Now this is more than a cold plunge, it's a transformative experience that is named after the GOAT himself. It can be installed outdoor or indoor, and it's really the best ownership experience. Head over to the link in the description to see how you can get your hands on one of these. Number 5 is to stay connected to the sport even if you can't swim. Now it could be frustrating to know that you're not able to be around the thing that you love, but you can still pay attention to swimming. You can watch it on YouTube, you can watch all my old videos, and really just keeping a pulse on what's going on in the world of swimming. You can take the inverse of this and actually completely disconnect from swimming, and this might be a good reset for your mind as well. Figure out what works for you, and if you've had any injuries or extended periods of time away from the water, you're gonna know what's working well for you. So do that, focus on staying consistent, stay engaged, support your teammates if you're on a team, or stay involved in the sport regardless of what that means for you. Reframe your mind. Instead of focusing on what you can't do, focus on what you can do. So instead of thinking, I can't swim today, instead think, I can go for a 10,000 step walk. I can go and do core exercises. I can do leg lifts. Instead of thinking, I can't leave the house today, instead think, what dry land can I do in my home that'll keep my body active, get my heart rate up? Maybe you can involve yourself in different ways, learning a new skill as we talked about. Just remember, regardless of the situation that you're in, remember setbacks happen to everyone, and it's about how we overcome these challenges. This will reinforce a positive mindset, and the best way to do that is just surrounding yourself with positive people. Hopefully, this channel is a positive message for you. Whether it's online or in person, surrounding yourself with people who have that positive mindset and outlook on the world. Hopefully you already have a date and a roadmap of how you'll make your way back into the pool, whether it's swimming a little bit and gradually ramping up, or you have a specific date that you'll be able to activate your different muscles out of the water that you're working with a physical therapist or a doctor. Regardless of your routine, make sure you are visualizing what that will look like, what that will feel like when you first step back into the pool. The moment that you know you'll be able to swim a full length of the pool or maybe do a 400 IM, make sure you are visualizing it, because that is how you can manifest. You can actually recover more quickly. And like I said earlier about using your muscles to activate the things that you can do. For example, for me, even though I can't use one of my arms, I can still use my other arm. And so by exercising with this arm, I'm actually creating those neural connections between both sides of my body. So that way, when I am fully able to use this arm, I'm actually going to recover that much faster. So take a positive spin on everything and make sure you surround yourself with people who are pushing you to be the very best. Injuries and challenges will test our patience and push our resilience, but also give us perspective. And I'm still grateful that I have both my arms and I'm still able to move my fingers and type, and I can show up to the world in my own unique way. So thank you again for watching until the end of this video and sharing your story with me and your kind words as I go through this ongoing process. I appreciate your time. And just remember, the human body is so powerful. It's incredible. The things that we can do, the ways in which we can recover, and it all starts with what happens between our two ears in our mind. It's all our mindset. So just remember that as you go through life, as you go through challenges, and I can't wait to see you guys at the next video. Until then, keep it moving.